You are standing on the edge of a wildfire. The savanna is burning. The heat is unbearable. Every other animal is running away from it. But you don't. You stay. You watch the flames. And for some reason, a reason even you can't explain, you pick up a burning branch and carry it home. That moment, somewhere between 1 and 2 million years ago, is where the human story really begins. Here's the thing nobody tells you about fire. We didn't invent it. Not at first. For hundreds of thousands of years, our ancestors didn't make fire, they stole it. Lightning would strike the African savanna, a wildfire would tear across the grass, and early Homo erectus would do something no other animal on Earth did. They'd walk toward it, collect the embers, and carry them back to the cave. Then the most important job in the entire group became simply not letting it go out. Because if it died, you had to wait for the next lightning storm, and the next lightning storm might not come for months. Think about what that meant. Somewhere deep in Wonderwerk Cave in South Africa, researchers found burnt bone fragments and wood ash in sediment, layers that are almost 2 million years old. At least 30 meters inside the cave, far too deep for any wildfire to have reached naturally. Someone carried fire into that darkness on purpose, and they kept it burning. But using fire and making fire are two completely different things, separated by roughly 1 million years. The moment fire stopped being something you found and became something you could create, that's when everything changed. And we now know when that moment happened. In December 2025, a team led by the British Museum announced a discovery at an abandoned clay pit near the village of Barnham in Suffolk, England. Inside the site, buried beneath ancient pond deposits, they found a series of ancient hearths, baked earth, heat-shattered hand axes, and then 2 tiny fragments of iron pyrite, a mineral so rare in that area that there was only one possible explanation. Someone had brought it there deliberately. Because when you strike iron pyrite against flint, it creates sparks. And sparks become fire. These weren't Homo sapiens, they were early Neanderthals, and they were making fire 400,000 years ago, 350,000 years earlier than anyone had previously proven. The archaeologist who led the dig, Nick Ashton of the British Museum, called it the most exciting discovery of his 40-year career. What happened next is the part that rewrites us. Richard Wrangham, a biological anthropologist at Harvard, spent decades arguing that fire didn't just warm ancient humans, it rebuilt them. Once they started cooking food, their guts shrank. The energy saved went directly to their brains. Brain size jumped by roughly 40%. They gained 4 extra hours a day that used to be spent chewing raw meat. Those hours became thinking, talking, planning, teaching. Fire didn't just light the dark. Fire made the brain that eventually looked back and asked where fire came from. We are, in a very literal sense, a species built by stolen embers. The next time you strike a match, or flick a lighter, or watch a flame catch, remember that somewhere in Suffolk, 400,000 years ago, a Neanderthal crouched over a pile of tinder, struck 2 rocks together, and changed the future of every living thing on this planet, including you.